Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Got my glasses on. I have to take some alerts off my phone because when I do my lives, they always end up popping up. So I wanted to hop on today and just talk real briefly about some of the unique characteristics about Sipley the Best. Since starting the company, as any entrepreneur, you know what you're capable of, you know what you can do, but how do you communicate that to your audience? I primarily serve companies, although I do serve individuals. It was really never part of my original vision when I started the company to help individuals, but due to the pandemic and just the need for career coaching and resume writing, that kind of came out of the woodwork. And I just really enjoy sitting down one-on-one with candidates that are going through a really traumatic time in their life. But what I'm going to talk today is about business owners and how Sipley the Best can help them when they are hiring. I am not a staffing company. I am not a headhunter. I don't operate like that. I am not paid by the hire. I am not paid in that manner. So if you've used staffing companies in the past, I'm an alternative to that if you want to go in a new direction. So what Sipley the Best is able to do is we are a hands-on approach to walking through the hiring process with you. So folks that hire us are ones that have never hired, and they just don't even know where to start. They're not familiar with employment law. They don't know what questions they can ask or they can't ask. They don't know best practices, things like that. They just don't even know where to start. Others have hired, but they're just not really comfortable with it, or they know they're not good at it. And it's been evident by turnover and disappointment in the folks that they have onboarded. And then the third type of company that would hire Sipley the Best to partner with them is someone who is just swamped and needs a little bit extra help to be more efficient in their hiring process. I've noticed a lot of employers get bogged down in the details when details are not necessarily needed yet. So those are my three avatars, I guess, is kind of the buzzword that's being used these days. So what we do is we teach you best hiring practices, employment law, and we walk next to you through the whole process. We come into your location. We not only interview you, but we're going to ask to interview other of your employees as well, because just what the boss man says isn't necessarily 100% fact versus perception. So once I have a really good idea of the company culture, I'll be able to coach you on what you might need. Sometimes employers need things that they don't know that they need. They think they need A, and after some analysis, we sit down and we really determine that you need B. You don't need another you need a yin to your yang, something like that. So once we really determine what you need, we'll sit down and I'll teach you how to write a job description. A good job description, after you get done reading it, you should be able to close your eyes and imagine what the person is doing day to day. Too many job descriptions are either non-existent or they are too vague in their details. And lastly, they're too detailed in their details. Like, it's just too much. Like, you don't need all that information. After we've sat down and hammered out the job description, I will teach you how to write an employment ad. And employment ads can be put in a wide variety of places. Things that you have never even thought of before. And a lot of companies just default to Indeed or Career Builder or something like that. But there's so many more options that we can use that are oftentimes free. We'll connect you with the partnerships that you need to get the resumes flowing in, right? Because you want as many qualified resumes as possible. Now, the qualified resumes is kind of key, right? Because we have a tendency, if you write your ad poor, you'll get a slew of unqualified resumes. I can't tell you how many times in my past life when I was in the staffing company, people said, well, I can get resumes, they're just all crap. Like, I don't know how to attract the right kind of talent. And so that's what having a good job description and good employment ad placed in the correct places will do for you. So once we get that done, typically I come back for a second day after that point, because we've placed the ad. We're going to go out, we're going to let some resumes flow in, and then I'm going to teach you how to quickly, efficiently read into resumes to where it is yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Because you can't just read a resume, you have to read into a resume, because there's so much between the lines that you might not see if you don't have a trained eye and you haven't read thousands and thousands of resumes. So after that, we're going to do some phone calls and do some phone screening. There's some key questions to ask during that phone screening and some key information to give during that time that is going to be essential in determining whether they get escalated up to a face-to-face interview. After we've got our pool of candidates that are going to come in and meet with us, we're going to have a pre-meeting about how to interview. I'm going to be there with the interviews, right? I'm your executive level peer where you can bounce things off of. You can share your concerns, your interests, your fears, your curiosities, all those types of things, because it's good to discuss that type of stuff during the hiring process with someone that you trust. And that's not always going to be someone inside of the organization. Sometimes that needs to be someone outside of the organization that has a fresh perspective and isn't already infiltrated into the culture, and can kind of see what might be needed. So we're going to do the face-to-face interviews together, which is great. You'll be able to witness how I interview. You'll have an opportunity to do interviewing yourself. Follow-up questions, things to look for, body language. This is like, man, this is the mega mind where you are going to learn so much in the face-to-face interviews. So afterwards, we'll debrief and start making some offers. Now, compensation isn't just about money. There are so many different ways to compensate folks. So I will come in and help you create a new compensation package if that's something that you're open to exploring, because you can compensate people in non-monetary ways that'll save you money and make them very, very happy and dedicated employees, because you're able to give them that work-life balance or give them things that an employer never has. So after that, we're going to make some offers. We're going to do some negotiating. Oh, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. And then we're going to hire them, right? We're going to make some offers and get them started. And hiring is so much more than the onboarding process. Orientation and onboarding are two different things. Orientation happens the day of the hire. The onboarding is a process that's going to happen in the first week, the first month, the first 3 months to get them acclimated to your environment, your culture, your communication style, your way of doing things. So once you've been able to get them onboarded, we're good, right? That's the whole process. It is a simple process from the outside looking in, but there are a million details on the inside of it. And I think that's where a lot of folks get lost. Some companies hire me once, and then they feel like they can next time do it better themselves. Other companies, they'll hire me a few times, right? Because they have different positions. The way you interview a general laborer that's blue collar is going to be a very different interviewing style of how you interview an accountant or a paralegal. It's not one size fits all. These are humans, right? While other companies, they really want me to always come in because they enjoy that executive level conversation and having an outside perspective on what they want. So they'll just have me come in and sit down with them and discuss those things during the hire process. So I have worked with hundreds of companies over the years, hiring thousands of employees and negotiating millions of dollars of salary. So that's kind of what differentiates me from maybe other HR folks, is my concentration on the new hire process and what that looks like. I'm an avid reader. Best practices are always changing. Laws are always changing. We have some new laws that just went on the books last month in January. So give me a call, Dawn Sipley, Sipley the Best. Just wanted to hop on and just kind of discuss how we're different than everybody else because we're Sipley the Best. Have a great day, guys. Bye.